So hello and welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne. We are live from deepest, darkest France, where pretty much with a studio that is still basically looks like a carpenter's shop. We are going to be bringing you the Chaingang. Fingers crossed, all the tech works because it's going to be going inside to the studio. But at the moment, we're doing a little bit of an outside broadcast, so you will see a stripped back version of the show tonight, and it does mean that you are going to hopefully get a nice smooth signals all the way through. So it should be nice and smooth. It should come to you nice and unjumpy. That's the best word I can give you. However, we will see. So without further ado, because it is Gritty Week, we are going to be heading out on to a cracker of a route today, and really looking forward to seeing exactly how this rides. We haven't been here for a while. It's Ocean Lava Cliffside Loop, and we are going to be heading out. So let's pull the map up first of all. With our yellow beacon, you can see our riders just over there, getting themselves all ready to go. And of course, our yellow beacon is Russ. Now, Russ is going to be taking our riders around. There's no lead into this, and that means that the riders are going to be straight out from the gun, and it's a little bit of a drag out from the start. We go then around the side of the volcano, back in through Italian villas, our little blue dot is at the moment, and up onto the climb. Now there's a 15% climb on that little island before coming along the top of the side of the cliff, and then dropping down through into the tunnels and coming around. We're going to do 2 laps of this and finish at the downtown lap arch. It is going to be a really tough ask for the riders, it has to be said. So I've got my fingers crossed everything is going to work super smoothly. And our riders are going to be able to keep it dialed all the way around. Russ hopefully has got them all under control. Let's dive across to our red beacon. It's going to be Lord Greg Pillsworth himself. Greg out there on the back, complete with red helmet, of course. And he's going to be down on the line. Now let's show you what this looks like, because when we go across from our Zwift Hacks map to the Velo Viewer, it is very, very different. You can see we've got that big section across on the side of the cliffside. The cliffside is on the far side. So we start down nearest towards us in the centre. We go to the right-hand side, that little bit of a riser through the S's, drop down, then climb up to the Italian village before then going across on to towards the tunnels. But we then take a right-hand turn up onto the climb. You see all that yellow graphic? Well, that is where between 9 and between 8 and 10k it's the steepest, but it climbs all the way to 12.5k. Then a fast drop down into the tunnels really quick. Alright, it's going to have to get this down. They're all lined up on the start line. So let's jump in with the riders here today. On Gritty Week, we're going to be having a Gritty giveaway part way through the ride. Let's see how that rolls as the riders get ready to go. So let's see who is going to take this out. We're at our final countdown. Here we go. So this is where we have to get out, hopefully with everybody intact. Good to see that we've got Sammy Stewart on board here already. So Sammy in and riding. So just going to take a little bit of a check down through for our red beacon, and the riders just heading out from that start line. Certainly looking Wharfdale Phil's out, Mr. Murphy is out, Russ getting out from the line, just trying to work our way actually towards the back of the group. So if anybody's finishing early, please do let Greg know. It's going to be really critical, but Greg is our last man out, and looks like Greg is working on his way through. He's just got Vince Donahoe behind. Vince hopefully going to be making his way in towards the riders. So our riders up and away and riding. So the riders are off. 2 laps to go as we go in through the archway. We're just riding in with Greg Pillsworth at the moment, and hopefully he's going to keep it nice and smooth on all the way together. So just riding in with Greg as he makes his way up towards the group. Let's see how quickly he can get himself up there and in touch with all of those riders. It's going to be really key today to keep everybody together, particularly on this first climb. So Damien Clayton on board already. It looks like Damien in there. We've got the riders just starting to group, and you can see already that this course is splitting the group apart on this little bit of a climb up here. We just drop in with our helicopter. So just watching Greg make his way in towards the back of the group, just coming up on Richie Woodall. Good to see that we've got Tiff Fletcher with us. Tiff, welcome back. Good to see you again. And we have on board the one and only Caroline Mansfield. Now, Caroline, of course, the CEO of Gritty here today. So the Gritty team are just making the month what it is. And got to say a massive thank you to Caroline and Neil. I hope that they've cleaned the mud out of their everything and anything and everything. That's quite simply because they were out at the National Trophy. We're going to be looking forward to recording another crosscast next week. So we're going to see how the riders roll. And of course, don't forget that we are going to be bringing you the Donny Chaingang all the way through this week with the WOW DCG tomorrow. A massive thank you to Caroline. Don't forget, of course, that we do have our fantastic giveaway. That's going to be coming up a little bit later on, and looking forward to bringing that to everybody. So welcome back to lots of our riders. Just check in with Russ. Everybody's rolling. Sammy Stewart saying the audio is good there. Thank you very much, Sammy. Good to know. Because this has taken a little bit of jiggery pokery. That is the politest way of putting it. There's no other word for it. Now, Claire Jessup and looks like Paul Simonite here, just at the bit back of that Rare Beacon group. Going to have to put a bit of a squeeze on here to get in with this group. Looks like Alan Parsons just on his way in there. Stevie G. So if people are getting the audio dropping out, just a quick heads up, we do record the audio. We do double check how many frames we drop on the way through. At the moment, we are dropping the odd random frame on the way through, so apologies for that. But it is a little bit dependent at the moment on 4G signal, and we are trying to run Zwift on 4G as well as broadcast and bring it in. So it should be heading out to everybody. It will depend a little bit on your signal, but at the moment things looking good. We're not dropping anything since we've gone live. Most of the drops were very early on. If in doubt, refresh your browser, whichever you're watching it on FaceTube or on YouTube, on the gang. Now let's take a little bit of a look. We've got Jimmy Allen in here, the Wolf, just nicely tucked at the back of the group. No good having the helicopter up. Let's get the drone up in the air instead. So as you can see, the gang are rolling along. The Red Beacon just off the back, chasing back in. Remember, we are over 119 riders. Once you go over that 100 riders, it means that you are going to basically not see the end. So if our Red Beacon is tucked into that group, he's not going to see anybody out the back. So just a heads up, guys. If you're off the back, shout up on the message board let the red beacon know he's not going to be able to see you behind him, and that is because when we get this many riders, 123 now, so if we drop back now, we can probably take a little bit of a check back with these riders, and looks like pretty much everybody in there. Darren Topley is just about to rejoin. Mr. Woodall is behind here. So remember, Zwift will only show you the nearest 100 riders. So low at the moment is the back of the nearest 100 riders in this group. He's got 100 riders in front, and low tucked in here, rolling along quite nicely. Now, whilst we've got Caroline on our screens, and whilst we've got stable signal, famous last words, we are simultaneously, of course, running a number of other things as well. So one of the things we are doing is we are going to be bringing you the giveaway of Gritty Kit. So remember, we have £250 worth of Gritty Kit to give away, and in fact that's going to be done by Caroline, who's just in that bunch at the moment. And you see Caroline just diving away in up through towards the front, and just rolling away up to the front of the show here. So Caroline up on the front, so an appropriate time potentially to roll through. So as we watch Caroline from Gritty, we are going to dive in to our giveaway. Now we're going to give away £100. There's a £100 credit tonight going to be going to one member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, is how we keep the whole show on the road. Not just the broadcast, but Russ being able to devote the time, the amount of time it takes to devise all the routes, to keep on pushing all these great routes out there, make sure that we can check in with the riders and make sure everybody is rolling well. Now, what we will say is, don't forget, guys, if you can donate, please do so. Don't feel obliged, don't put yourselves in financial difficulty to do so. But it does help Russ and I cover the cost of putting the chain gang on. It doesn't by any stretch of the imagination make a profit. Don't for one second think it does. That you would be fooling yourself somewhat. It ain't a get-rich-quick scheme, believe me. In fact, we just about cover the cost of all the kit and all the extra stuff that we use to get the broadcast to you. We can do remote commentaries from around the world, from anywhere in the world, backwards and forwards, with about a quarter of the broadcasting power it takes to actually get the chain gang in and out. So let's get into our giveaway, and let's start giving away some stuff. As you can see, we decided for Gritty Week, we can put up the global warming stripes up on the right-hand side. Don't forget, of course, you can go to www.gritty.co.uk and pick up some great stuff from the global warming stripes collection from Gritty. So the numbers are rolling. These translate to members, and this time around for this month, we've gone by alphabetical order from 1 downwards. And in fact, the very first person is a certain Alan James, Jimmy Allen. So it is in surname order for a change, rather than in first name order. And the odds tonight for our members is a 1 in 60 chance of winning £100 to spend in the Gritty store online. So let's get the button pressed. Let's stop the random number generator. Let's see who it's going to be. Remember, it is one prize, one rider, one prize. Proper old school. So let's hit the button. And it's number 51. And that means that our winner is going to be Dick Samuel. Richard has taken the win. So Dick Samuel is going to be our winner today. And going to be fantastic. Regulars has got that. So Dick Samuel, Richard, you are going to be our winner on the Gritty Kit. Congratulations, buddy. So number 51, and that is Dick Samuel. He won't be in the chance of winning the £50 and the £100 that's coming out next week. So well done to Richard. Well done to Dick. He is our rider who is going to be taking that away. Now, let's take a little bit of a run up through the gang here. Next in with Tiff Fletcher. The luckiest number in cycling history wins again. Number is indeed number 51. I wonder if Mr. Samuel realised that. Now, one of the things we're doing, Richard, is that we are basically going to be putting you in touch with the gang. So nice one, buddy. Great to see. Now, just saw Chris Ball in here. Chris is going to be our beacon, our red beacon on Thursday. But let's jump in with the one and only Russ Downing. Russ in here, looking good at the moment. So really interesting. I just got a message coming from Neil Mansfield. And Neil, of course, part of the team at Gritty, my co-host on the Crosscast. And, of course, one of our regular addicts on the gang. And I've got to say, he's actually watching and listening to the gang whilst... so, in fact, he's listening to the gang feed whilst out running in Munich. So Neil is running in Munich at the moment, out with work in Munich. He's out running, and he's, in fact, at the moment... listening to the feed. So, guten Tag, or guten Abend, to Neil. And hopefully he's going to be back on the gang fairly shortly. Now, Darren Topless just making his way on to the gang here. Darren, of course, from Pines Cycles on his avatar at the moment. It looks like a few people just dropping back to go give our red beacon a hand. A little bit of a gap, about 27 seconds actually from our red beacon up to the front group. So it is looking like there are some fairly serious gaps up there at the moment. There is probably a podcast he could listen to. Neil could listen to the Crosscast, apart from the fact he edits it, so it'd be like about 20th time for him. But he's actually listening to the feed. So, has anyone seen yellow? Well, at the moment, the yellow beacon is sort of sitting mid-pack-ish. The red beacon is some way back. Remember, guys, if you can't see the red beacon, then you're a long, long way away from the gang. Let's take a little good look back here. So, Darren and Claire Jessup just chasing at the moment. Darren putting out 2.5 watts per kilo just on this downhill, trying to get back in. It's going to need a concerted group back here, really, to bring these guys in. Ian Bell's back here. Looks like Keith Richardson in here. It's going to take a little bit of a move to get this gang in. So it is Darren Topless at the back of this. So the gang just starting to drop and break up at the moment. You can see from our helicopter shot that's up over the top, we are starting to see some really big gaps that just start to open up. If we drop our map view in a little bit, you can see that there is a big old gap of the yellow beacon about to take the turn up on the right hand turn up on to the climb. At the moment, Darren with about 7 seconds to get back in with the gang. Don't forget, if you are dropped in the first 15 to 30 minutes, it often pays, in fact, it often pays to drop out and come back in again, and you'll jump back into the main pack. It is not cheating, it's called enjoying yourself. This is about having fun. This is all about getting out there and riding your bike and enjoying your time on the Chaingang. So Greg dropping. Unfortunately, Greg in communication with lots of our riders. I think Darren, just looking to see if we can find Darren. We might have to do our sneaky drop back. Not even working on that at the moment. So Mr. Pillsworth could have the chase on. Remember, of course, it will all come together very close in terms of distance very quickly. And in fact, here comes Darren. So Darren just behind the gang, just going to come across to join in the map. Going to let this all settle itself out. So riding in with Darren at the moment. Just got the seaplane on the left-hand side, the flying boat on the right-hand side. Seaplanes basically have floats at the side. Flying boats, the hull is part of the actual structure. Only has pontoons to support the wings. So Darren's back in. Here we go. So Darren Topless in with Greg. And that gang starting on to what is an absolutely brutal climb. This is pretty horrid. Fortunately, we have had a number of K to get warmed up. And if we drop in with Mr. Pillsworth, who's been in from the start, it's 8.8K. Now, just taking a little bit of a look at Darren. Looks like Fiona Kesteven having to chase the red beacon at the moment. So Fiona clearly outside that 100 riders. Come on, Fiona, you can get them on the climb here. Putting out the about 4 watts per kilo, 5 watts per kilo. You can see the gang coming in to the climb. So here we go. On to the climb, 2% Fiona. We'll sit in with Fiona as she goes on to this climb. Should actually put in a really fast time up here because Fiona's one of our real fast riders on the Chaingang, a week in, a week out. So just watching the gang come up on to the top of the climb here. Making the way around these turns. I say the top of the climb, it's the top of the first ramp. That would be really nice, wouldn't it, if it was the top of the climb. Sadly, guys, it's not. It goes up a lot. A lot. Lots of gradient, lots of nasty climbs. In fact, the right-hand climb is even worse. Now, Stefano in here. Good to see Mr. Borelli in the gang on his kit. Looks like Mr. Topping just being distant. So he said, Greg, don't wait for him. So looks like Mr. Topping not going to be topping the standings today. Just having a spin in here. Looks like Persona G just in here as well. And the just being distanced a little bit. We've got Stefano just off the back of the gang. So Mr. Topping currently the back of that group. And just being dropped out the back. So, sir, if you don't mind, we're going to just take a little bit of run up. Nice headband and hairstyle, though. Absolutely top marks for that. And that'll definitely get full marks in the style competition. Now, Stefano and Persona G just behind Greg here. Stefano, of course, the manager of Nonna's, the best place to eat. Made it into the top 6 restaurants to eat, and one of the best Italian restaurants, best 6 places to eat in Sheffield, amongst others. It's just had the Italian Restaurant Award. It is an award-winning, star-filled restaurant. It is absolutely amazing service. You don't have to take my word for it because, of course, I know Stefano and Maurizio pretty well. But gotta say, it has looked after lots and lots of riders over the years. It is a real mecca for riders, and of course, with it being Italian food, absolutely amazing. Now, this bit of the climb here, horrible, nasty, steep turn here. This is a really tricky. It is very tough as you come up around this turn. Stefano going around the side of Greg at the moment, our beacon. They're going to be making their way up on towards the top of the gang. So Greg just chasing back on to Stefano. Then it's Persona G as the back of the main bunch at the moment. 42 seconds back. And that is a little group that's just been disappeared off the back of the main bunch. Hilly for Flat Tuesday. It's hilly as heck today. In fact, it's a hilly week. The members of the DCG gang will all know this. Because as a member of the DCG gang, not only do you get the chance to win an absolute bucket load of prizes on the way through the months. It's gritty this month. We've had OTE. We've had the guys from Halo. We've got gritty. And we are going to be in with the one and only 1080. 1080 are back for December with the one and only Mr. Taylor, the tourist destination that is 1080's shop in Norwich. Going to be looking after our riders. Don't forget, of course, Oakley's the best eyewear that there is out there, according to me and many others. And gotta say, Ian and the gang with some of the best advice and knowledge of Oakley products. Great to see that they know exactly exactly what's going to fit what face, what shape. They can order in everything as well, get it mailed out to you, and of course they look after members of the DCG gang. So make sure you get in touch with them if you are a member of the DCG gang. Don't forget, of course, we've got some great giveaways coming up from in December, and of course we've got a great giveaway coming up to round up the month. And we're going to do it this week. And that's quite something because next week is actually a split month. And that is going to be split between 1080, who come in and on Thursday, and of course Gritty, which is on Tuesday and Wednesday. Love it. Russ saying, will anyone notice if he doesn't finish tonight? Yes, we will. That's for sure. Now, when we get to the top of this junction, we're going to be taking a left-hand turn. Just sitting in with our red beacon at the moment, because we don't actually get much chance to sit in with the beacon all the way through. And looks like they've tarmacked the bit of road and come around this left-hand turn. Our rider's just going to magically appear. Here they come. I see our red beacon on his way around this turn. Looking very solo at the moment, to be honest. It's not technically Persona G. Here comes the red beacon duo. So this is Greg and Stefano. So over the top of that, onto the false flat. Now this section of road is a bit of a nasty one because it isn't flat. It continues to climb all the way up here, and that is really, really key. So the riders continuing to push here at the moment as they go up this climb. Just going to be making the way up and around the turn. Let's see how they get on. This is the chase. Our red beacon has formed. Our red bus has formed. Persona G about 5 seconds in front. Just taking that detour and around the turn here, around the side of the section, taking this right-hand sweeping bend. Now, Darren Topless still chasing that bunch. Then it's going to be Carl Johnson's group car with Claire Jessup in there. Going to be Jimmy Allen as well, looking to try and tow people in. Ian Bale, the whole of the gang. Now, this is really key. You've got to push to get right in to the back of the group. Remember, it's dead simple, guys. Don't chase the front. Don't try and be the Muppet on the front. It doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. If you're on the front now, the odds are you're not going to be on the front later. It's really easy. Stay around yellow. So Greg Booker he knows the score. Sat in and holding on to the back. Remember, if you regroup, generally what you find is that Russ is nice to you. If you don't regroup and you act like a bunch of scorpions chasing a footy, then guess what? Russ is very rarely nice to you. It's just kind of how it works. So we've got Mr. Crease on here as well. So remember, 2 laps, 38k finish on the way round. Looks like Jimmy on here. The chasing group, there are a lot of people separated from our red beacon and co. So looks like the bus forming, and this is going to be the bus starting early here. This bus has started and it's got 2 passengers on board. I'd say passengers are probably going to contribute just as much as Greg, given half a chance, because I know everybody likes to pull themselves in and along. So the bus is rolling. Low just in front at the moment, 46 seconds up the road, chasing 5 minutes up on here. Then it is going to be Johnson, and then it's going to be Jessup and Jimmy Allen. So now is the chance. If you've got a sprint in you, you've got to kick now, because the moment that these guys come on to the climb, onto that descent, you are in trouble. It's really that straightforward. You've got to push. You've got to get in. Now, if you're not in the group, you will get dropped as we take the left-hand turn. So here we go. They're going to make it. They're nearly onto the back of the group here. Let's get that helicopter flying. You can just see them just about to make contact. You've got to push, 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 Claire. Come on, Claire. Come on, Jimmy. This is your chance to get back in. You can't afford to let this group start to pick up speed, because you will. you will be distanced. It's that straight. Oh, look at this. Jessup's she's got an anchor. That is the best power-up ever. Look at the speed. She's absolutely rockety through. Look at the pace. So Claire Jefferts on there with the anvil. It's absolutely flying time. I mean, with Claire, she's just going to belt from the back to the front, whether she likes it or not. The momentum and the pace that has been carried there by Claire Jessup by putting in the anchor. Got her back on nicely. Fantastic move. Taking her right to the front. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we introduced everything but the taco and brought all of the kit in. Now, I did just see Mr. Samuel in here. It's going to be impossible to find him, to be brutally honest. We can't run the companion out because we're actually having to run on about 4 or 5 different networks at the moment to gather enough internet into the system here. However, when the studio's in, it's going to have 2 gig. 2 gig on each line. I know. Scary, isn't it? Another studio been added to the list. Now, here we go. Greg and the bus coming on to the descent. There's 3 riders. Got low in front of 45 seconds. They have the advantage of numbers in bulk. Darren in no man's land has got Carl Johnson as a target. Carl just in front here. Damien Clayton at the moment. Damien just getting dropped on the descent here. Not quite sure what's going on. Not like him. Let's have a little look. Mr. Booker being distanced on the way down. Maybe going to have a little bit of a chase on. Lawrence Coyle on here. Go see he's in here. It's Muncaster in. Kieran Brown just rolling in the back. Russ holding the back of this gang. Looks like Daisy Freer alongside. Don't forget, of course, tomorrow, Daisy, we've got our WoW DCG. Really looking forward to the WoW DCG because, of course, we are going to be heading away and out on to a cracker of a course. Emma's been busy dreaming of all sorts of wonderful courses. We are going to go on to Tempest Fuji. So an absolute classic course. Now, down underneath the ocean we go. You can just see us rolling underneath the sea here. And this is our Yellow Beacon group. So just a heads up, if you're in that front pack of riders, the Yellow Beacon is distanced somewhat. We've got chasers up to about 3 minutes behind the leaders. So it looks like the bus currently making inroads into K at the moment. And just see if we drop in here with Stefano. The speed at the moment absolutely flying, 67 kph as he starts to level out and come in towards the run down in towards those tunnels. Looks like Darren has got Carl Johnson for company here. Damien Clayton's currently looking like he's about 30 seconds down. On 20 seconds down on the back of that chasing group. So, Mr. Clayton, you need to get your finger out, mate. Greg Booker also distance. Finch is distance. Crease just holding the back of this group as we make our way through the tunnels. There are bodies all over the place. Not so much a gang as a scattering of riders, I think, at the moment. And that is always the case on this course. When I saw that Russell put it in, I was thinking, he's feeling brave. Maybe he's just feeling enthusiastic, or maybe he just wants to give everybody a really tough time, because that's exactly what's going to happen on this course. You find that big break up on to the top. So our riders rolling well. The red beacon chasing the pack. The bus has formed. They're down in the tunnels as well. They're underneath the sea, under the sea, and chasing the way in. Now let's have a look at Mr. Green. Got to push on here, buddy. Jimmy Allen. The same for you. Looks like Johnny Two Dogs having to push. Finch distanced a little bit. Booker's distanced a little bit. But remember, it's all about staying in the group. Good to see that Caroline from Gritty Still sat nicely in this pack, and a big thank you to Caroline and Mr. Samuel going to be picking up some kits. £100 to spend at the Gritty store. And I can see Andy Horses on here. Going to take a little bit of a roll through here. Jim Flip, Tom Lindley, the one and only, the legendary Tom Lindley, and Chris Ball is not too far away. This is the man down as our red beacon. Chris on here. Great to see Chris back on the bike. Great to see you, buddy. John Garfer, our Royal Navy Royal Marines, in here as well. Just taking a little bit of a run through. Squires in as well. We've got the one and only absolute star. It is Sally Stewart, leader of the WOW DCG twice now, in fact. And not only that, she's also, of course, an absolute legend when it comes to riding the crits and on the roads. Also saves the odd life or two or more as a firefighter. Absolute superstar. Legend in her own lifetime. Now, let's take a little bit of a look. No silly numbers up on the front here by the look of it. Eddie Dead just nicely rolling in and around. Run is on. Let's have a little bit of a look. Looks like Russ has decided, oh, might go up to the front. Here he is. Not only Russ down, he gets his very special, just for him, the yellow beacon. Cerberus. Can you tell that the gang is rolling quite nicely at the moment? So we're going to take a little bit of a roll down here, and we're going to try and give you some numbers here. So Greg's group is a group of 3 riders when they appear. They'll pop up any second. Here we come. So they are on the way in. 3 riders with Greg. Then we got Lowe solo. Then we got Darren and Carl just about to pop out. And then, if I'm not much mistaken, I think we're into the group. We're into the main bunch. Oh, don't want to do that. Let's have a little check. We are indeed the back of the bunch. So still, lots of riders sat in nicely in with this group. Now, I'm going to have a double check because according to our numbers, I think we've lost a few. So Johnny Two Dogs, just anyone on the front seen yellow tonight, asking for a friend. 1 lap to go for our riders. They hit the line. We're just going to try and follow the back of the bunch in and through. Let's get that drone up and rolling. So here we go, coming round that long sweeping turn, coming in to the 1 lap to go marker. Here we go, 1 lap to go. In where's Jim Flynn? Please no anvil. Yeah, you don't want that. That's okay on the attack. Now, one man who should be absolutely suited to this course is the one and only Harry Hudson. Harry has been absolutely superb form. He has been the man to beat. So, Harry, hope you got your climbing legs on. There are going to be plenty of riders to challenge on the way through. The question will be, who is going to be right up in the mix? Get off. So, Steamroller, not a great one to have. Definitely not a good one to have. Looks like Greg turning the bus along. Nice train there, just in behind. Then it's going to be Lowe, and then it's going to be Johnson, Carl Johnson, and Darren Topless. Then at the back of the bunch is going to be Sam Emsley. So 107 in the bunch, plus about 4 behind. And the rest of the people have dropped out. There you go. Or we can't see, which is also the case, because if you have weird and wonderful operating systems, sometimes you can't see everyone. So don't forget, make sure you get joined up to the Gritty month. If you are a member of the DCG gang, jump in. Make sure you use that discount, 20% discount for members of the DCG gang on the Gritty site and everything except for clearance lines. Please, guys, make sure you support the people who support your sport. I know Gritty's been out and up and down the country trying to get the kit out to as many people as possible. They're down at the National Trophy. You can catch them at all of the up-and-coming rounds of the National Trophy. They're also out and about at lots of other events. Neil is, of course, going to be back with us again. Looking forward to Neil being back on the line. Nicely tucked in with this group. I have to say, Caroline is on some serious form. And of course, we have coming up the World's Masters Cyclocross. Really looking forward to being on the mic for that. Going to be down in Ipswich. And I know Neil has been targeting it. I'm not giving anything away. He's already told everybody on the crosscast. But he's definitely aiming to do better on there. So going to be looking forward to seeing how Neil gets on down in Ipswich. Steve Grimwood, of course, an absolute star. Never know, we might get Steve on the crosscast. He's always good for a conversation or 10. A man who can talk even more than me. Now, on to lap number 2. We are at 36 minutes 40 seconds. And at the moment, famous last words, 21k covered is 38. So just rolling our way in through the bunch here. Rob Varty in here. Now Rob, this of course could well suit Rob as well. You see Tristan back here as well. Tristan Heritage in. I think we've got Finn from Gritty. So Finn Mansfield, I think, has joined. I'm just having a little check. Sure, I saw 7F at Gritty, which is Finn Mansfield. Now Finn has been racing, but he is also at university, so it'll be whether or not university life versus the ability to train regularly is going to work. Just see Matt Gilmore in here, another of our up-and-coming stars, youngsters who are getting really quick these days. And in with our prize winner, a certain Mr. Small, who's currently running in the Ineos kit. A Gritty giveaway. A giveaway for members of the DCG gang, so rewarding those people who support the gang and help us keep the show on the road. Thank you very much, Dick. I hope you're going to enjoy spending your £100 of credit down at the shop on the www.gritty.co.uk site. Gritty supporting us all the way through November. A massive thank you to them for all of their support. The members getting lots of different kit highlighted across for them. We've been thinking about how cold it is in between on the rain showers, so a pair of arm and leg warmers from Gritty, of course, is pretty key. And of course, with UMESI opening up, one of the things we've highlighted, of course, the new kit, new design coming in from the team at Gritty, and really nice to see the Hito Sashiko. And I've said that, probably pronounced that terribly badly. So Neil Mansfield's just updated me. He was targeting the Worlds. The gridding at the World's Masters is done on a random basis. Out of 124 riders. 124 riders. Where has Neil Mansfield been gridded? Bearing in mind he's been training specifically for this event. It's not first, I'll tell you that much. It's not 124th. But if you add first onto 124, take that away, you're at 123, and that's where Neil is gridded. Neil, you're going to have fun overtaking a lot of people. That's all I can say, mate. That's for sure. Maybe we should get Steve Grimwood onto the crosscast. Don't forget, of course, you can download the crosscast with me, Matt Payne. You can catch up with me on social media. It's at Matt Fixer Payne on Swift, on Strava, on Instagram, and on Facebook. You can catch up with Full Speed Events. It's at Full Speed Events. And that is on Facebook, on Instagram as well. Emma is going to be potentially back with us. She may even be sitting in and doing a co-commentary tomorrow on the WOW DCG. You never know. And Emma is at Biking Emma. Don't forget, of course, give Russ, following Russ, Fonzie Downing on Facebook, and of course Russ Downing, the legend from Downing Cycling in there. So we have our group. The bus in here looks like Stefano just being distanced a little bit now to push on. Then it's Carl Johnson. Then it's going to be Low. Topless still solo at the moment. We're just going to let the fold sort itself back out again. In front, looks like that is going to be Harriet Rupp. Harriet just on one side of the road at the moment. Looks like Mr. Ridley, Alan Parsons, just being distanced from the gang as well. And just jumping in with the back of the gang. 42 minutes in and 25k covered. We're on the pull back up to the village. Riders still left in the pack. 100, I'll repeat that, 106 riders left in the bunch at the moment. It's blooming huge. Ginormous bunch. See Lee Cairns on here, Brad in here as well. Caroline just tucked in on the back of this group, just sitting nicely in with the pack here. So Caroline Mansfield at the moment in the back of the group, currently sitting 103rd in a big bunch of 106 riders basically. The back just fracturing a little bit. They should get a chance to push on as we take the left-hand turn into the the right-hand turn at the side of the Italian Village. Come on, Matt, remember where you're going. So we're going to take this right-hand turn and then going to go up alongside the waterfall. And it's a chance just as the front of the bunch hits climb for the back to push in to the pack. So, of course, I don't know when Russ is going to hit the button. Nobody knows when Russ is going to hit the button. We are steadily losing riders, so find a group, find a pack. If you do get distance, find a group of riders and join them and ride as a group. It is so much easier. I guarantee it. So, lots of riders. Come on, Daisy. Push on. You can get into that group. Ted just being distance here. Come on, Ted. Squeeze those pedals. And the go, it's gone. It has gone. I'm going to frantically scrabble my way up to the front of the bunch, and I'm not going to get there any quicker, I think, than some of our riders. Try and jump in with a real fast rider on the way through. If we hit somebody super quick, we may well stay with them to try and hitch a left towards the front of the gang. Could just stay in with Tiff Fletcher because, my goodness, Tiff is on some serious form at the moment. Tiff Fletcher, proper DCG, Donny Chaingang at it. Hoping we'll see Tiff 3 nights this week with a WoW DCG on Wednesday. Go to Tempest Fugit. Then on Thursday, we've got another special. And, of course, it is because we're on Gritty month. We've been making our riders work hard. Everybody wondered why when we went onto a flat, fast course, they all got the new personal best, new power outputs, new FTPs. Oddly enough, it's because we put tough courses. Russ designs the routes to make you work hard. You do the training, then we put a fast one in where you can actually really unleash the power. And oddly enough, everybody gets personal best. Funny that, isn't it? It's called training. Anyone think Russ knew exactly what he was doing? So when everybody's moaning about these really hard courses, oh, it's really hard, it's really tough, oh my goodness, I don't want to go back there again. Guess what? You're all going to be going. So, as Russ says, don't forget, downtown banner is the finish. It's not at the top of any climb at all. We're currently coming down off the Italian Villas. We're in with this front group of riders. It is still pretty substantial, but it is not, I repeat, it is not of a size where it is 106, not by any stretch of the imagination. Remember, we took 106 onto the climb up out of the Italian Villas. We're now on the descent, and this is all that is left of our riders who are in that group. We're going to try and run our way towards the back. This is a bit dangerous doing this without the companion app running, but you never know. We might be in luck. So we're going to say that this has got a group of 70 riders left, 7-0. So if you're in that leading group, you are one of 70 at the moment. But my goodness, you are going to have to be prepared to work very hard on this next climb because we've got some of our youngsters in here. Looks like one or two people just straight. Davies going on the attack. Kai's a really, really nice guy. Absolutely love catching up with Kai out at the races. And Kai out and riding, going on the attack early. Just going to get a little bit of sliding room maybe on the climb, but Kai could take this out. He is a class act. I had the pleasure of watching Kai race cyclocross as well as seeing him on the road. It looks really good, but you can see that big climb coming up in front. This is going to be tough stuff. This is where those riders really do have to get this absolutely dialed. Get this right, and you are going to be flying. Truce on the climb, not a chance. Come on, you got some youngsters in with you trying to make the way in. So 5 seconds at the moment from Kieran Brown to Kai Davis. Kieran and Manu's raced up against Kai on plenty of occasions as these riders make their way up and across the long boardwalk bridge heading on to the climb. Now, Sammy Stewart's in here. Is Sammy going to be our first female finisher? She's got her work cut out because we know that Tiff Fletcher is absolutely pinging on form and flying. Sammy, has it been a tough shift at the office? That's the question. So, Mr. McLean on board. Ollie Saxton starting to wind up. Looks like Jones is doing the same here. So you can see the gradient. Love this angle. 9%, 10%. It's an absolute brute of a climb as we come up and around these turns. Just watching Jones at the moment as we come around this section. A little bit as you come off from the climb here. Still, this group is well and truly broken up, and it's Kai Davis who has opened that gap and is maintaining it. He had plenty more in the tank, but now this is the man who in theory should be a red hot favourite. Damien Clayton. Damo is an absolute superstar. I had the privilege of watching him put an awesome ride in on the rails. The chase back from the rails coming into the finish was something else to see. A brilliant ride by Damien Clayton on what was a breakthrough year for him. He's absolutely flying that year, and at the moment he's gone up on to the front. He's got Hornby immediately behind him here. Then it's going to be Kai Davis. Then it's going to be Ollie Sawyer. Then Kieran Brown, Matt Gilmore. Looks like Foggy not that far behind. Greg Booker, Rob Varty, Dale Williams, Squires, Jones, Hudson, Saxton, Crapper, Evans, Simonite, Sammy Stewart, House in here, Muncaster's in here. Taylor's not that far off the pace either. Looks like Jimmy Allen on a bit of a push up here. And of course Russ nicely tucked in the middle of this group. Question is, can anybody pull back this man? Damien Clayton leading them up on to the top. 300 now, 450 watts, 103 beats per minute. Nice pedal cadence, so 92 revs per minute here as he comes up onto the top. Hornby is a second wheel though. He's got the match, I think, of Clayton on this section. Foggy, Sawyer, Booker, Brown, Davis, Gilmore and Hudson. They're currently your top 10, but this could all change on this long flat section as we run across the top. I say it's flat, that's an absolute lie, to be honest. It's hilly, it's bumpy, it's got a steady gradient and it's gonna hurt. It's basically, let's tell it how it is. Now Clayton with the gap to Hornsby, second wheel. Foggy sits in a third position. Sawyer in 4. Davies in 5. Brown in 6. Gilmore in 7. Booker in 8. It's Saxton in 9 and Oliver in 10. They are really pushing on here now. Has this group got itself together enough? You can see this is the chasing pack at the moment. It is currently about riders. So I'm just going to try and work out where we are. 13th and downwards. This is a big old pack here. They're in front of the yellow beacon by about 10 seconds. Sammy Stewart has got company with Paul Simonite here. They've got Russ, Jimmy Allen and co are chasing coming up. This is a very strong group. The question is, have they got enough power to get into the group going around the side of the boulder? And the landslide, they're about 6 seconds up. Then a further 15 seconds gets you to Gilmore. Hornsby and Clayton, though, now a further 16 seconds up the road, and they've been joined by Foggy here. So we have 3 riders together. 3 riders holding this together on the climb. Let's zoom our map out a little bit. We're on that long transfer section. It's basically a steady climb, a little roller coaster, a couple of rests on the way through. Ollie Sawyer continuing to push here, expending plenty of energy to get back in with this group. He's in 4th place. They've got to push. So if he can get back in at touch, I think he's only 2 seconds on the wheel. Come on, Ollie. This will make a group of 4. But behind, you've got 2, 3, 4 riders. You've got Davis, Gilmore, Brown and Booker. Then you've got a pack of about 8 or 9 riders now at 27 seconds down on Sawyer. So about 30 seconds down on our leaders. So puts in another dig here to get into those wheels. Clayton is keeping the power on at the moment. He's not making it easy for Sawyer to come back. Not sure whether that's a good move or not. Having some assistance, having a few more bodies after the on the downhill and into the run into the finish would be my preferred option, because the distance of flat down in those tunnels. You've got this monster downhill, then you've got, of course, the section. So let's see, can they get him back? Gilmore and co, they're 17 seconds down. 19 seconds behind is the Varty group here. They've really got a massive split. They are all over the place at the moment. Just looking down here for Russ. Russ currently in 24th position at the moment for Russ Downing. So it looks like Russ pulling 80 back on again. Phil Oliver in the group up in front. But Kai Davis not having given up on this chase. He's got Gilmore. Gilmore's not even in stitching. Now he is. He comes in behind him. He's going to make contact. Kieran Brown and Gray Booker have got to work. These 4 really having to work. They've got chasing group at about 18 seconds. They've got 15 seconds to Clayton. Sawyer is off the back here, but so is Clayton. And this means that it's Foggy and Hornsby at the moment on the front of this group, who are opening up the lead. Well, the bell tolls in the background on Zwift as we start to make the way down on this descent. The speed is going to come right up. We're going to take a look at these gaps. So Sawyer and Clayton are distanced from our leading duo. Then 16 seconds back, we've got 4 riders. It is going to be Kai Davis, the rider who our rider's camera is just trying to get in front of here. He's got Brown, Kieran Brown of Sure Pines. You've got Summit CC's Great Bookie. You've got Matt Gilmore in there as well. Then 26 seconds back, Rob Varty is clear of the Lindley chasing group. This has hot favourite, of course, Harry Hudson, who couldn't take it there. 25 seconds back is our Yellow Beacon group. But the very front of the ride at the moment is a long, long way down the course. The leaders are currently at 33k, and the Beacon group behind are at 32. So nearly a kilometre separating our riders as they go down into the bridge and going to make their way off into the central island. But we are going to have another massive descent coming up here. And this is where that pace really is going to pick up. We'll jump in with the riders. We're sitting in low with them as they come down this descent. Watch the speed, 67k an hour. And it's only going to pick up. This is a really steep little descent around this turn. So you can see this super tuck just aiding these riders, getting a bit of a rest on the way through. Absolutely critical tactic to know if you're ever going to race on Zwift. Let's drop back. Sawyer's just coming into that flatter section. Gilmore leading this group in and down. They're going to come screaming past our camera on the descent. They go onto that leveled section. 33 seconds back. This is the next group coming down. Again, another decent pack of riders. The more riders you have, the more chance you have of closing the gaps on the run in to downtown. Now let's jump in with Russ here. So Russ tucks in with Jimmy Allen here. Looks like Simonites in here. Sammy Stewart in here. absolutely rocketing down that descent there onto the flatlands as well. A little bit further back. We are in from Finn from Gritty. Finn, hello. Right, Finn currently 41st, coming down off the top. Got to keep the pedaling going. So good to see Finn in here. Currently sitting in the 10 rider group from 31st to about 41st at the moment. Dot back kick to very typical of the Gritty core kit. Now this group want to catch back Russ. It's about 11 seconds up the road. So there is the opportunity to have a little bit of a tug to pull Russ back in this group. We're going to see if they're going to do that. Starkey in here as well. Now we're going to take a little bit of a run up the road because I think our leaders of Foggy and Clayton, they're about to come in towards the tree. Now the time gaps: Gilmore, Davis, Booker and Co are currently sitting 6 seconds down, but the leading group 3 is a leading group 4 because we have got Ollie Sawyer joining this group. So the leading group is currently it's going to be Ollie Sawyer, it's going to be Hornsby, Foggy, as well as Damien Clayton. They have a gap of a whole 3 seconds to Kai Davis. Make that 0 seconds. He's about to get onto him at about 1 million watts an hour. Here we go. That's 5 in the leading group, but it's not going to be 5 for long. That's 6, 7, 8, I think. Booker's going to join them. Booker's going to make it 8th rider. So this will be a group of 8. 8 riders. They are going to have 18 seconds back to the Harry Hudson group. So currently 18 seconds back. So the Harry Hudson group, who are currently 18 seconds down, they are group number 2 on the road. It includes Dale Williams. Group number 3 is going to be our Yellow Beacon group. So group 3 is our Yellow Beacon group. This did contain Sammy Stewart. Just going to take a little bit of a check. Sammy's still in that group. Group number 4 is this huge pack that is now chasing down the Yellow Beacon group. So this is group number 4. You can see them on the map, in fact. So group 1, 2, 3 and 4 all on this long turn in through the tunnels. Group 4 can see the beacon of group number 3 shining like a torch. Come and catch me if you can. Group number 5 just coming in through past the tree. This is Richie Woodall's group, Murphy's group, Stevie G's group. So if you're in that group, you're in group 5. Shelley Childs and Dick Samuel in group number 6. Group number 7 is going to be Dr. D's group. Group number 8 is Gail's group, Purple Ronnie's. But the leaders, long way up the road at the moment, and we are going to head in towards to see if we can get any moves being made. We'll just start work our way back through these groups. So this is a group now 7 seconds. Group 4, 7 seconds off group 3. 7 seconds separating 4 to 3. Group number 2 are on the climb, chasing our leading group, which was 8 riders. It still looks to just about be 8 riders. We're going to take a little bit of a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is 8 riders here. We're in with Greg Booker at the moment. You've got Damien Clayton, Ollie Sawyer, Kai Davis, Hornsby, Foggy, Matt Gilmore in here. Now Clayton with the pro jersey badge is going to be the scalp they all want to take. The question is, has Clayton got the form that's seen him take? With number of wins, he's up against it though. But Clayton puts in an 8 watts per kilo kick to come up onto the front just to stretch his legs out here. He knows this finish really, really well. Remember, we're going to that orange arch. He's now winding it at 7 watts per kilo. The response is coming behind. The question is, has anybody got the legs to keep Clayton from taking this? Clayton eases off a little bit here. He's dropped to 6.5. Yeah, dropped to 6.5 watts per kilo. But this is going to be about who has got the pace and the power to kick clear and who can get their timing right. We're going to try and follow them with the kick now. Gilmore has gone earliest here. Has he caught them all napping? He went at 14 watts per kilo. He's got a gap here now. The gantry is going to come really quick. You can see it in front of him. He's got a gap, but Hornsby's coming. Hornsby's coming. Is he going to get him? He's going to get closer. Hornsby's going to roll him. Hornsby takes it just on the line as they come through. What a finish there by Hornsby. Then it was a massive sprint between the rest of the group to come through. Next in is going to be group number 2. I think they're going to be led in by Dale Williams. They are indeed. So Williams leads in group number 2. He takes that mini sprint on his way through the line. It looks like Oliver's going to take our next little group coming in. But this is now going to be the next sprint group. Has Russ got the legs on him? As we will see. Don't discount Sammy Stewart. Sammy has got the pace and the power to take this. She's up against Simonite. Oh, Sammy not quite getting the group sprint in. Now, I think that was Simonite taking it, but Sammy's going to be our first female finisher. Finishing there in group number 3, only a few seconds down on our leaders. Great riding by Sammy Stewart yet again. And definitely a performance that makes us go, we are not worthy. It's absolutely cracking ride there once again. Now, we're going to try and run our way back. Apologies if we have missed you coming in and through the line in a group. Very difficult because it's coming in a very fast group run. Sprints which come in at pace. It's a downhill run in and it levels out literally just before you get there. Now, this group on the way in to the finish, just riding in with Douglas. He's got the steamroller engaged. He's not actually going to help all that much. It's his personal wattage that he's kicking out that's doing the damage at the moment. So Douglas has got the gap to Ratcliffe. Then it's going to be Nunn, Murphy, Taylor, Sharp, Stevie G at the moment. And I think he's going to take this. If you can make it under the bridge, the odds are you're likely to make it past the ramp and in to the sprint arch. So here we go. Next group coming through, taken by Douglas and Ratcliffe, Woodall, Nunn and Co. Steve Taylor coming in with that group. Next group coming in to the finish is going to be Shelley Charles. Looking forward to having our Continental month for the riders on the DCG gang. Got a whole host of goodies coming up for you. Now, I don't think that there's any legs left. No, there's not in Shelley. Davison takes it from Dr. D. Forrester, Turner, Shards, Samul, then Coyle coming in. Morn's going to get the next sprint just in ahead of Richardson. Oh, Richardson just about holds off Bags, Eastman and Gale and Co. Wimble, Gale, Ronnie coming through. James coming through as well. Sadler's right up on the heels here. So some absolutely torn apart bodies here today. Forbes is going to be our next rider in, so Forbes will be the next rider in and through line. Don't forget, of course, £100 been given away already to Dick Samul. He is our rider who's going to be taking away £100 worth of goodies out of the www.gritty.com website. Always an option. So Knott's going to be our next rider. Oh, maybe not. John Garfoot rolls him on line. Sneaky move there by John. Gets the sprint and then Haggart, not Rich Langby comes in then. Chasing the gang in to the line. I think it's going to be Capo who takes that. Langby, Goddard, Sam Emsley coming through. Chris Hilbert, Brad, Johnny, Two Dogs then leading our next group. Absolutely great stuff. Find a group, get in a gang, get yourselves in and across the line. Absolutely critical. So let's see who's going to take this out of this bunch. Is Johnny going to have the pace? Is he going to go faster than the compressed air that powers the paint gun? Or will we find that there's nothing left in that tank? So let's see who's going to take the roll in. We've got Wharfdale Phil. Phil always puts in a cracking finish. You've got Mosley in here. You've got Brooks in here. Who's going to put that little last kick? Who's going to have that little bit of pace? It's going to be Wharfdale Phil who's going to have it, I think. It is. Wharfdale Phil takes it from Johnny Two Dogs, then Brooks and Mosley. Jones going to be coming in. Don't forget, guys, make sure you go to the end of the road, warm down, get that lactic acid spun out of your legs. It is a training ride. It's designed to make you go quicker, faster, and do all things super speedy. So next up will be Brahman. Go see Mr. Brahman back on the ride once again. Going to come in ahead, just ahead of Andy Horse, who may have a solitary sprint for one. Unusual not for Andy not to have any company on the ride. He's got 4 seconds on Canham, who's coming like an express train here. I think Andy's going to just... Oh, he's going to get close. Well, he just holds off Canham. Canham almost had him there. Ted coming in. Steve Cannons comes through as well. Next will be a run back to the CEO of the people who've been looking after the members of the DCG gang. Our way of saying thank you very much to everybody. I've seen somebody just ghosting a little bit there, I think, on the way through. Chris Ball in here as well. Lee Kess in as well. Thank you very much, Caroline, for your support of the DCG gang members, looking after the people on the DCG gang. So Rodney is going to take this sprint in. He's going to come in just ahead. Caroline pushing all the way into the line here, but it is going to be so Rodney, then Chris Ball, Caroline Mansfield, and then Ken's coming in and through. Next up will be Mr. Topless. Now this says Topless is 34 seconds back. That doesn't look 34 seconds back. We're going to let it do a little bit of an adjustment here as we see Caroline just spinning down. Caroline knows how to ride the DCG. Just spinning her legs out here. So don't forget, you can catch up with the team from Gritty. You can catch up with them at the National Trophy Series. Still more rounds coming up of that. Don't forget, of course, they're going to be heading down to the World's Masters, where Neil will be trying to see how many people he can overtake. I don't know what Caroline's gridding position is. I must admit, I've got to look at those notes. That's going to be next week. So make sure you go onto the website, www.gritty.co.uk. £100 going to Dick Small tonight. We've got £50 going out, and then £100 going out to the riders who are out on the course and riding. Now, next rider just coming in and through is going to be Mark Grant. Mark doing a great ride there. Fantastic stuff, bud. So Grant going to be our next rider in and through. He's definitely ahead of a couple of other riders here. So it's going to be Curran and Claire Jessup. Claire doing a great ride here. So Claire through. Another good ride by Claire Jessup here. Then it's going to be Curran coming through. Jim Flynn on his way in towards the line. And then should have a little bit of a gap. So just a reminder, remember guys, we are going to be bringing you the WOW DCG tomorrow. That's going to be coming out and heading your way. Looking forward to bringing the gang to everybody. Then the WOW DCG heading out. It's going to be on Fuego Flats. It's going to be super fast because it's Tempest Fugitive. So time will indeed fly on the circuit tomorrow. So Jim Flynn on his way into the line. We've got Low behind, Greg Pillsworth, Persona G. Mr. Ridley, well and truly distanced there. I'm not sure what Alan stopped for, but maybe it was for his tea. So Jim Flynn comes through. Well done, Jim. Next up will be Low, who's under the tunnels. Then it's going to be on Bus, and looks like they're going to be pushing. So remember, WOW DCG, women only on Wednesday. Donny Chaingang, we've got some great action coming up on that. Don't forget, it's going to be going around Fuji. It's a ride for everybody who is on there. For all of our women riders, women only Wednesday. Donny Chaingang going to be coming out. It is going to be led by the one and only Lisa Jane Lay, a.k.a. Foxy. Lisa, regular time trial rider, road rider. Does a lot of kilometres out there. Regularly rides big distances. Regular on the Chaingang, knows it inside out. Our red beacon is going to be the AEO teammate of Emma. It's going to be Joe Jarvis. Joe, of course, a rider who's completed the Mallorca 312, as well as lots of other massive events. And, of course, on the all-concrete AEO race team, the women's #1 race team on Zwift. And Joe going to be taking the red beacon out and around. Whether you are super fast or whether you're just joining, or whether you want to find out what the Chaingang's all about, the women only Wednesdays are running. And don't forget, you can either go on and register on the website on Ticket Tailor. You can, of course, click on the links on your membership. If you're one of the members, that will take you straight in to the event. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. Then on Thursday, we are going to be bringing in our riders on the World of Watopia. They're going to be heading back into Watopia. Chris Ball is going to be our red beacon, a yellow beacon, the one and only, the living legend that is Russ Downing of Downing Cycling. The Bear will be back in action on Thursday. So we are just watching Darren Topless making his way in towards the line. Then we're going to go back to Lowe and Co. Going to watch Darren. It is a little bit trickier to work out because Darren's times are a little bit out in terms of where he is overall. However, making it all the way in and through the finish. Come on, Darren, all the way to the line, buddy. Here we go. In and through the line he goes. Excellent. So we're going to go back to Lowe. Lowe's going to be our next rider in. Coming in to that run in around the side of the Pleasure Beach and along the side of the pier. Coming in towards our gantry. Past the ramp where we joined the ride. So Lowe going in through. Massive well done. And that means that we have our bus and Alan Parsons, who seems to be yo-yoing off the back of the gang. So a big thank you to Greg Lord Pillsworth himself, bringing the bus home today, doing an amazing job out on the course and bringing the gang in and around, shepherding riders in through. Brilliant job done by Greg, and fantastic to see Greg leading in our next rider. That's going to be Persona G. Coming in through to the line. So Greg completing his job here today, and Persona G finishing just ahead there. So lots of attrition in our riders on the way through, and I think that will leave one man to come in. It is going to be Alan Parsons with a proper flat cap on, of course. So Alan in and through the line. And that means as we watch Greg make his way in through the finish and get himself in towards the end, we are going to say thank you very much. It has been an absolute pleasure putting words to the action. Hopefully you managed to keep up with all the action. We are going to be using the same connection, so could be a little hit and miss. If in doubt, refresh your browser if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, or watch it back later, where it all should have just done its magic and compressed itself all back. On DCG Thursday is the Donny Chaingang. We will be on the same connections then, and we'll in fact be on the same ones for the Sunday Race Club that we bring out as well and broadcast from here. Then we're going to be heading back to the UK on Monday, which means that Tuesday and Wednesday's Rise the following week will all be coming in from the standard Old Beer Cellar Studios. And that's before we head down to the World's Masters Cyclocross, where lots of our riders who ride on the Chaingang are going to be racing. So we will see you down there. So we'll leave Greg to head off into the distance. Don't forget, support the people who support your sport. 1080 going to be here all the way through December. We've got Continental Nonnas, of course, for the best food in the business. Vela Skins keep sitting comfortably. Halo to put those Continental tyres onto the best hoops in the business. And, of course, OTE for keeping you fueled up. And yes, I have been eating the energy bars to keep fueled up whilst building a new studio. In the meantime, don't forget, of course, there is 20% off Gritty, off OTE, and off of Velasquez, as well as loads of great offers on the members' pages in the emails. If you haven't joined for November, give yourself a Christmas present. Join for December. Some great giveaways, some great rides. I was chatting with Russ about them. Looking forward to bringing them to you on the broadcast. So from me, Matt Payne, from Russ, from Greg, from everybody in the Chain Gang, stay safe. We'll see you again tomorrow.